Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting? Mr. Marvin, second by Zuhon. Questions, comments, roll call?
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zuhon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Eads,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Metzger.
Yes. We have one appointment, Emergency Telephone Systems Board, with advice and consent, and nominating Jeff, or appointing Jeff Branson until June of 2020. Roll call, please.
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zuhon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Eads,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Metzger.
Yes. Next up is an ordinance regarding prevailing rate of wages. Need a motion for this and a second. Is there a motion to move by Degler, second by Weber? Questions? Roll call, please.
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zuhon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Eads,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Metzger.
Yes. Committee reports. Ms. Purdy, Building and Grounds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Building and Grounds Committee met at 5 p.m. May 30th with the following members in attendance: Mark Degler, Brian Marvin, Rick Shook, and Mark Weber, acting chairman, presiding. I was unable to attend. Also attending were Ron Carroll, security, Monty Walters, maintenance supervisor, and Elaine Carpus-Camata, administrative assistant. In a maintenance update, Mr. Walters updated the members on the activities of his department as follows: updated the members on the tunnel, and the repair project for the basement steps will cost approximately $19,200. In old business, the members reviewed the appraisal of the parking lot behind Rocks. Ms. Camata was instructed to meet with the state's attorney regarding the sale of this lot. In new business, Ron Carroll, security director, presented a procedure policy that would allow the county to regulate vehicles parked in the county's parking lots. Mr. Marvin moved to forward this policy to the county board, seconded by Mr. Shook, and the motion carried. And that is in the board packet. At this time, I so move.
Okay. Moved by Purdy. Is there a second? Second by Marvin. Questions? Roll call, please.
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zuhon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Eads,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Metzger.
Yes.
There was no miscellaneous business, and the meeting adjourned at 5:15 on a motion by Mr. Degler and a second by Mr. Marvin.
County Office and Rules. Mr. Weber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. County Office and Rules Committee is called to order on June 5th, 4:30 p.m. with the following members present: Brandon Bell, Paul Daly, Corey Sanders, Mike Zuhon, and myself, Chairman presiding. Stan Metzger, Chairman, also attended as ex officio. Also in attendance was Travis Coffey, Brian Marvin, Mark Degler, and Rick Shook, County Board members. Sue Reynolds, County Clerk. Kelly Lockhart, Regional Planning. George Edwards, Treasurer. Elaine Carpus-Camata, Administrative Assistant. Update on the tax cycles was discussed. Under old business, Mrs. Camata updated the members on the circuit clerk funds. There was no new business, no miscellaneous business. The meeting adjourned at 5 o'clock and a motion by Mr. Bell, and seconded by Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. Mr. Bell, Emergency Telephone System.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Emergency Telephone Systems Board meeting was called to order at 3 p.m. in the Coles County 911 Center boardroom. The motion was made by McReynolds and seconded by Sentney to approve the minutes for the March 2017 meeting. The current budget reports and percentage sheets were reviewed and discussed with the ETSB. Supplies and Claims reviewed the bills, signed and submitted them for payment. The bills were reviewed with the ETSB. Bernie Buttram gave his director's report. There was no old business. Motion was made by Sentney to continue to hold the ETSB meeting every other month, beginning in January on the first Thursday of that month at 3 o'clock in the Coles-Moultrie County 911 boardroom. Motion seconded by Martin. Motion carried. Motion was made by Branson and seconded by Rankin to appoint Chief Brian Baker as chairman of the ETSB. Motion was made by Branson and seconded by Baker to appoint Brandon Bell as vice chairman of the ETSB. Motion was made by Martin and seconded by Baker to appoint Sheriff Jimmy Rankin secretary. All motions carried. There was no reason for executive session. Next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, July 6th at 3 p.m. The meeting was adjourned.
Thank you. Finance Committee was called to order June 5th, 2017 at 5 p.m. The following members present: Brandon Bell, Brian Marvin, Corey Sanders, Mike Zuhon, Stan Metzger, Chairman presiding. Also in attendance were Travis Coffey, Rick Shook, Mark Weber, County Board members, George Edwards, Treasurer, and Lane Carpus-Kamada, Administrative Assistants. Treasurer's update. Mr. Edwards updated the members on the activities of the Treasurer's Office as follows. Informed them that he consulted with IMRF regarding back pay for union workers that have left the department. These funds will not affect IMRF benefits and requested the members give him the authority to pay this back pay in the amount of $1,290. Mr. Bell moved to approve this request. It was seconded by Marvin and carried unanimously. This time is there a motion to that effect?
No.
Pardon me. Okay, carried unanimously. Item number 2 then, updated the members on property tax collections. Item number 3, informed the members that the county has received state reimbursement for probation salaries. There was no old business. In new business, the members were presented with a tax sale resolution. Mr. Marvin moved forward this resolution to the county board. That motion was seconded by Bell. Is there a motion to that effect this time? Mr. Marvin, second by Bell. Questions? Roll call, please.
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zuhon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Eads,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Metzger.
Yes. There was no miscellaneous business, and the meeting adjourned at 5:15 on a motion by Zuhon and a second by Sanders. There was no Health and Safety Committee this past month, nor was there an Insurance Committee, correct? Nor was there a Liquor Commission. Mental Health will meet Thursday evening. Mr. Daly is unable to attend this evening. Mr. Bell, would you please read the Planning and Development report?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. The Planning and Development Committee was called to order at 4:30 p.m. on May 25th. Mr. Spence updated the members on the new software in the Treasurer's Office for the IT update. There was no GIS update, there was no old business, there was no new business. The meeting adjourned at 4:50 p.m. on a motion by Mr. Bell and a second by Mr. Coffey.
Thank you. Mr. Zuhon. Oh, I'm sorry, pardon me.
Yeah, let me scroll through here, excuse me, when I find this. There we are, okay. The Coles County Regional Planning and Development Commission meeting was held at 4 p.m. on May 25th at the Regional Planning Office. John Doty made the motion to approve the minutes from April 2017, and it was seconded by Travis Coffey. Motion passed. Kelly reported that income was over expenses for the month of April for the fiscal report. Old business, 5 new grants approved for housing, starting Mattoon and Neoga soon, just got Sullivan approved. HAP and SFR should start this year, applying for new FHLB grant in June. The GIS census LUCA is coming up in 2020. We need to prepare for that. Work on MSAGs for Coles, Moultrie, and Shelby Christian is about 50% done. Kelly gave quick demonstration of the program we use for this. New business budget resolution to include HAP and SFR funds. Stan Metzger made motion to approve it and was seconded by Brandon Bell. Motion passed. There was no June meeting at this time. Brandon Bell motion to adjourn, and it was seconded by Travis Coffey, and it was adjourned at 4:23 p.m.
Thank you. Mr. Zuhon, was there a public health meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have a brief synopsis, no official minutes as of now. We met on May the 18th at formerly the old hospital here in Charleston at the Public Health Center,
Yes.
so it's called. We discussed current programs and caseloads that the county has at the time. The discuss current financial position, and it's stronger than a year ago due to the changes in our programming and our billing process, so our money is revolving and pass-through monies, despite the fact that the state still has no budget, and overall it's running very smoothly.
Thank you. Mr. Weber, Road and Bridge Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Road and Bridge Committee met on June 5th at 4 p.m. with the following members present: Travis Coffey, Paul Daly, Rick Shook, Mike Zuhman, and myself, Chairman, presiding. Also in attendance was Mark Degler and Chairman Stan Metzger, County Board members, Rick Johnson, County Engineer, Elaine Carpus-Camano, Administrative Assistant. There is no old business. Under new business, the members were presented with a County Bridge Fund petition from Pleasant Grove Township to remove material behind existing north abutment and replace rotten timber back walls and wing walls with steel sheet piling on Township Road 144, or 1250 East. Mr. Daly moved to forward this petition to the County Board for approval and seconded by Mr. Coffey, and it passed unanimously. And at this time, I move that we accept it.
Moved by Weber, is there a second? Second by Travis Coffey. Questions? Roll call, please.
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zuhon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Eads,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Metzger.
Yes.
The members were also presented with the County Bridge Fund petition from 7 Hickory Township to remove existing crossroad culvert and replace it with a 36-inch diameter aluminumized steel culvert 30 feet long on Township Road 170, or otherwise known as 1400 East. Mr. Metzger moved to forward this to the County Board, seconded by Mr. Shook, and that passed unanimously also. And I so move.
Okay, it's moved by Weber, is there a second by Zuhon? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zuhon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Eads,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
and Metzger.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson distributed the county engineer's report to the members. That is in your tablet there for your reviewing. Under miscellaneous business, the members discussed renaming County Highway 1000 North, or also known as County Highway 18. No action was taken at this time. The meeting adjourned at 4:15 p.m. on a motion by Daly, seconded by Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. Just one quick correction there. Mr. Zuhon moved that second motion, not myself.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, thank you. Mr. Sanders, Sheriff and Law Enforcement Committee.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Sheriff Law Enforcement Committee was called to order at 5:30 p.m. with the following members present: Travis Coffey, Brian Marvin, Rick Shook, Mark Weber, and myself presiding. Also attending were Chief Deputy Tad Friesland, Elaine Carpus-Camano, Administrative Assistant. We reviewed the reports. All the members reviewed the reports. On the old business, the members requested an updated on the FOIA request concerning the guns at Sheriff's Department. Chief Deputy Friesland informed us that he had personally spoke with Mr. Kirk, Allen, and every gun at the Sheriff's Department has been accounted for. So we want to make sure we took care of that. On new business, Chief Deputy Friesland distributed the FOP contract with the civil employees of Sheriff's Department to the members for consideration. Mr. Weber moved to forward this contract to the County Board. The motion was seconded by Mr. Shook, and unanimous vote 5-0.
Moved by you?
Yep.
Motion by Sanders, is there a second? Second by Weber. Questions? Roll call, please.
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zuhon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Eads,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Metzger.
Yes.
All right, miscellaneous business. Chief Deputy Friesland informed the members of the Sheriff's Department looking at different ideas to change the floor plan at the jail to accommodate the mentally ill inmates. And the meeting adjourned at 5:45 p.m. on a motion by Mr. Weber and a second by Mr. Coffey.
Mr. Sanders, do you have anything with, or what's your supplies and claims report, please?
All bills approved and paid.
Thank you. Is there any old business this evening? New business? Miscellaneous business? No reason for executive session? Announcement of appointments. There'll be one appointment to the Mental Health Board at the next regular meeting, 2 appointments to the Board of Review, one appointment to Eastern Illinois Economic Development Authority. It is about a little after about 7:15 for time for public comment. First on the list is James Donasso is recognized for 3 minutes.
It's a sad day today for Coles County. It's a sad day for the citizens, for the taxpayers, and the institution known as the Coles County Board. The events that have led us to this situation we find ourselves in are complex and they're very disturbing. For the past 7 months, concerned citizens like myself have attended these county board meetings and have expressed their concerns regarding the commercial industrial reassessment of the county. During those meetings, county board members have refused to answer many of our questions, give relevant answers. They've shown arrogance and have completely ignored our concerns. In an effort to find answers to our questions and concerns, we have gone through the much painful process of gathering information. Much of this was done through the Freedom of Information Act and by interviewing and questioning experts about the issues we raised during these county board meetings. We are prepared to prove in a court of law to the taxpayers of Coles County that the board violated the Equal Protection Clause of the United States Constitution and refused to follow the rule of law regarding many of the aspects of the reassessment project. Unfortunately, and to the detriment of Coles County, there is an ugly and troublesome side to the reassessment project that many on the county board and all the players involved did not want the taxpayers to know about. We know that certain members of this county board and other county officials deliberately lied, colluded, withheld information, denied FOIA requests, and acted with malfeasance against commercial industrial property owners of Coles County to accomplish the reassessment project. Some of this you can find in the filing as part of our federal lawsuit. You can find that lawsuit online. This kind of behavior by our county officials leaves a black eye on our county and calls into question the entire credibility of the county board. The public trust has been violated and the ability of the county board to govern our county has been undermined. There's no way to correct all the wrongs that have been done during this reassessment process. However, moving forward, I believe the following changes must occur in order to restore the public trust and confidence in the Coles County Board. Number one, moving forward, a committee needs to be formed to give input and provide oversight in the current and future reassessment project. This committee should represent all parties affected by these reassessments, including the following: residential property owners, commercial and industrial property owners, and taxing bodies, which would include the school districts and the cities of the county and any other taxing body affected by such a project. Number two, all FOIA requests from taxpayers seeking information on county-related business has to be honored. We should not have to threaten with a lawsuit to get the information that we legally are entitled to have. Number three, County Board Chair Stan Messer must resign for malfeasance and deliberately misleading members of this county board and the taxpayers of the county. I have absolute proof of this. You can see me afterwards for it if you want it. Any other county board member or county official who knowingly misled the public, lied, colluded, withheld information, denied FOIA requests, or acted in malfeasance regarding this reassessment project must resign. As a citizen of this county, we ourselves are partially to blame for what has happened here. We have to share some of the blame in the sense that we have not held our local government officials accountable, and I'll start with myself. I did not regularly start attending these board meetings until I found out troubling things that were occurring with this reassessment project. From now on, for the sake of my community and from being a good citizen, I'm going to make sure that the county board and the other governmental officials locally are held accountable for their actions by becoming more involved civically in our county government. It's troublesome for me to have to get up there and say these things. However, they must be said. We must have accountability, and what has happened during this reassessment project is completely uncalled for, wrong, illegal, and unfortunately, there's going to be consequences for it. I hope this board will consider that they understand the loss of credibility that they have in the public's eye and do the right thing, and the ones who are involved will resign. Thank you.
Thank you. Rob Perry.
First of all, good evening. This has been a long road, and tonight's a regrettable night for me because all along, we've been sitting here trying to find out what's going on. And for 7 months, the county board sits there and remains silent. And, you know, the worst part about that is I have to either figure out that you have something to hide or you just don't care. So, we're not gonna go down the road. I know that nobody wants to talk from the county board, that's fine. But what's happened, what you caused, let me explain to you from the standpoint of a citizen. What you've caused by sitting there for 7 months and not saying anything, when you're asked questions, you caused us to dig into everything we could possibly dig into. And let me tell you something, we've dug in and we've got the information. Some of it's not so good on your part, and some of it leaves little to be desired, that you're not actually working for the taxpayer, you're working for the taxing bodies. And the point that I'm going to make to you is that, think about this equation. If you don't have a taxpayer, then they can't feed your taxing bodies. So all of this that's been done over the course of 7 months, while we come in here and talk to folks about what's going on, and you play the silent game, it doesn't fix anything. So we're still at the juncture, when we get all said and done tonight and walk away, we're still where we were 7 months ago. We still got a problem, and we still got so many unanswered questions. And I'm to the point with it that we're going to have to get to the bottom of the problem. And there's a swamp, and the swamp's going to get drained. And you can get mad at me all you want, but the paper that we've got and the evidence and the information that's on the paper came from you to begin with. Is it making any sense to you so far? We walk in, don't get any answers, and we sit here and we continue to ask, and you continue to say nothing. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about. And, you know, I'll tell you that I'm not happy at where I'm at, and I'm not happy to be here because of this tonight. I'm let down from the standpoint that we should be working together, not pulling apart. And you've made the decision to pull it apart, and we're going to put it back together. And you probably aren't going to like the way it's going to end up, but it's going to end up. And it's going to be done right and righteous. So, I have a couple of questions, and I know that I'm going to try to answer the questions because you won't answer them. So I'm not going to call anybody out. I'll go through what I have. There's been people on this board for a long time, and you know who you are. And you know what you've done, and you know what you haven't done.
Mr. Perry,
Yes.
that's been 3 minutes. I will allot you 3 more. Per
Oh,
our resolution regarding public speaking. You
okay.
have 3 minutes.
Okay, you give me 3 minutes. Thank you very much. Now you're restricting what I've got to say. And I'm not happy about that because you're part of the problem, okay? Here's what I'm going to ask you. On February the 23rd of 2015, the County Office and Rules Committee got together. Okay? How many in here were at that meeting? Could I have a show of hands? Corey, you're the one that chaired it. Who else was there with Corey on February the 23rd? Mr. Daly, were you there?
Mr. Davis.
Mr. Metzger, were you there?
I don't remember.
Well, I do. I've got the paper, I do.
If that's the
It's
minutes.
here.
Okay.
Well, here's what you did. You got together with a meeting that was illegal, not posted, and you got together with all the taxing bodies to get together to talk about EAV. And everybody, you want to know who was there? Karen Childress, Kelly Lockhart, Kevin McReynolds, John Woodman, Jerry Herman, Larry Reynolds, Scott Smith, Steve Pamperin, Heather Kuykendall, City of Charleston, Tim Gover, Kyle Gill, Matt Toombs, Tom Sherman, Jim Littleford, all the taxing bodies of the counties there. Guess who you forgot to invite? The guy that pays the taxes. So you're over there colluding something about EAV, okay? EAV. So all I'm asking, why is it so important that you can have meetings that are illegal to talk about what you're going to do to the taxpayer without the taxpayer there to represent himself? How can I trust anything you do? What's wrong with this picture? That's what I figured. I wouldn't get anybody to say anything. Thank you very much.
Mr. Dukeman, you're recognized for 3 minutes. Thank you.
Questions I had tonight were actually for Ms. Bill, but she's not here tonight, so I'd just like to say a few words. I'm one of the guilty ones. I've grown up in this community all my life, Coles County, but I've never gotten involved before this incident. But this is something that I believe that we're standing up for what's right. If we didn't do this, our economic conditions in this county would just continue to dwindle. I'd ask the board to get out, drive around the county, and all the taxing bodies to get out there also and do that. Because if the economic conditions in this county were so great, we wouldn't have so many empty buildings. Therefore, the incorrect assessments that are going on right now just can't be tolerated. We have to stop this and stop this now. That's the only reason we're doing this, is for the better of our community, our county. I do care. The other gentlemen that are involved, they do care also. We'd like to ask all the business people, concerned citizens to get out and get involved. Like I say, I'm as guilty as everybody else for not being involved before now, but this is something I believe that we have to stand up for what's right. Like I say, I'm kind of disappointed in what's happening in our county. I've always been proud to live here all my life, attended Charleston schools, raised my kids in the Mattoon School District, but there has to be change, and it has to be for the good of our communities, and that's all I'm asking, is for positive changes. Thank you.
Thank you. John Kraft, you're recognized for 3 minutes as well.
All right, thanks. I'm here to talk about tonight's meeting. It's my understanding you were informed several days ago, maybe even a week ago, that there were going to be a lot of people show up that would overwhelm the seating capacity in the room, and I would urge you and maybe the state's attorney to review the Gerwin versus Livingston County Board precedent-setting decision on convenient meetings. Meetings have to be held in a place convenient and open to the public. Meeting rooms that are too small to accommodate the large crowd that is expected to attend the meeting is not considered convenient and open to the public. There were several other things they talked about in that case. Convenience. They said that an open meeting in an inconvenient place, like this is, with people out in the hallway who can't hear what's going on, is a violation of the Open Meetings Act. That was their determination. So I'm asking that the next time you guys are informed that a large group of people are going to show up that would overwhelm the seating capacity, that you find a larger room to hold the meeting in. Thanks.
Thank you. Clerk Allen, to be recognized for 3 minutes as well.
Thank you, Chairman. Quick question for county board members. How many of you ever read the powers and duties of the county code for your position? Anybody ever done that? One, a couple no's, a couple yeses. Okay, thanks for those that answered. In 1992, an amendment that would require voter approval for the creation of a building commission was passed. 3 months before the law was effective, Coles County rushed to create the building commission instead of allowing the voters to determine the direction of government expansion. That's an indicator. Your limited purpose specified when the commission was created was specifically to county government services. 4 years later, in contradiction of legal mandates, the county sells bonds to the tune of $600,000 to build a building for the Regional Office of Education. Such an expansion of the commission may not be expanded until the question of expanding the purpose of the Public Building Commission has been submitted to the electors of the county at a regular election and approved by a majority of the electors voting on the question. The voters were once again circumvented. That's an indicator. Can we all agree in a contract? Any contract among units of governments must include the signatures of each entity named in the contract. Pretty basic. Anybody that's named in the contract is going to sign it. Can anyone explain how Coles, Clark, Cumberland, Douglas, Edgar, Moultrie, Shelby counties have a contract with the Regional Office of Education when the very contract is only signed by Coles County and the ROE? None of the other counties have signed this agreement, yet it claims to bind them to certain guidelines in that contract. I've checked with Edgar County, it's never been approved. No minutes, no record anywhere that they've ever approved as a party to that contract they're named in. Mr. Sanders, your committee report last month was false as it pertains to the situation with the guns. I have confirmed, contrary to what apparently they told you, that federal guns that came from the federal government were not returned. They have accounted for the federal government guns. You mentioned they've accounted for all guns they have. Yeah, they've probably accounted for all the guns they have. They haven't accounted for the ones that are missing. Since I raised the issue of missing guns, I've also confirmed that one that was missing has now been found. How interesting is that? It did not show up on the current sheriff's inventory when he took over, but now that I raised proof of it missing, it appears. The best part, I have a copy of the court order that required it to be destroyed. I wonder why we got a gun that is in their possession now that was ordered to be destroyed years ago. Mr. Bauer, have you ever prosecuted anyone for violating a court order or seen a judge do so?
For a contempt order?
For a court order? I mean, a court order is something usually, if you violate it, that's something that can be prosecuted.
It's a contempt proceeding, yes, sir.
You bet. Your past sheriff, Darrell Cox, has sold weapons illegally and did so in direct violation of court orders from the sitting judges. I have a whole list of court orders for disposal of guns, and some orders that say they can keep them within the department. The vast majority require disposal. None of them were disposed. That's violation of court orders.
Mr. Allen, would you like an additional 3 minutes?
If you give me a minute and a half, it'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. ETSB, their primary purpose is to dispatch emergency calls. Emergency, out of the statute, means in which a property or human life is in jeopardy and the prompt notification of the public safety agency is essential. Dispatchers are trained to determine what is or is not an emergency call. When it is not, they should advise them who to call. The law mandates, and this is in the ETSB statute, all public safety agencies like fire departments, police, ambulance, shall maintain a separate number for non-emergency calls because there is no such thing as non-emergency 911 dispatch. This county has entered into an illegal intergovernmental agreement with ETSB. It's illegal because ETSB is not a public agency. They are a county unit of government created by the county board. They can't sue or be sued. Thus, they are not able to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with their parent organization. They can't contract with other public bodies to charge for non-emergency dispatching, as there is no such thing with 911. Nor was it legal for them to hire an attorney to represent them as they have done. I asked at the last meeting that this be addressed. If no steps have been taken to stop this illegal activity and illegal spending of 911 funds, that's an indicator. What do all these things indicate? Malfeasance. Either knowingly or with total disregard for the law, the reference items tells the public that certain members of the public body are incapable of performing their duties as the law outlines. I wish Ms. Biddle was here. I'm not sure why she jeopardized her own integrity by lying to the public. She did not hire Bob Becker, and I think we all know that. The paper trail proves it. Her own emails now prove it. One in particular, she stated, "I do think they, being the committee and the board, will be choosing fairly soon, which was in relation to the Bob Becker proposal. Who is they? Clearly, if she hired him, she would not be telling the city of Charleston that they will be choosing soon. It's high time for some of you on this board and the public body to resign, as it's clear you have ignored the taxpayers' interest in this county and have a proven inability to follow the laws you're bound by." Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Stodden, you be recognized for 3 minutes.
Well, it is kind of sad to be here when we have these problems. I don't think I have to apologize. I've been interested in government and working to have good government since 1970. Me and my wife and our family. I think that these issues could be resolved. I believe one of the options might be available here would be for the county, now that we have this action, to just go ahead and default in favor of the taxpayer. And the state of Illinois evidently did never make it clear what we should do. They don't have any money to put any of us in the penalty box. I don't know that we would have to worry about that. I think that would be an option. There is a pretty strong case against problems here in the county. So I think certain things ought to be considered. We should agree a lot of times before we have to go to law. It makes it a lot easier on everybody if we can work out problems. At the same time, I'm glad to hear that other people are interested. We certainly have a problem in our country tonight. The tragedies that are happening out west, a lot of people don't know what's going on out west. People are being imprisoned, driven off their land by bureaucrats. It ain't going to be, Illinois is going to get their share of it the time to come. We better get involved. The times are going to be desperate. I was out in Ohio here, 2 years ago, doing some business out there. A man was telling me how that their church put on a feed to feed poor people. Good thing to do. And, Muslim lady showed up with her son, maybe her daughter, I forget exactly, but anyway, she had some kids. And she ate the food, but before she left, she let them know that they better take their crucifix down out of their church, out of their meeting hall. So there's a lot of things coming our way. Socialism has failed us. It's going to keep failing us. We've lost control of our local government through strategic planning. We're in desperate times. We ought to get our heads together here and instead of fighting one another. There's always a remedy. There's a remedy for certain things. So let's keep that in mind.
Thank you. Ms. Roytek?
I don't have a lot to say, except the fact that I think it's pitiful that we have to be here. Our family was involved in a custody hearing about maybe 5 years ago. And I know I told Judge Glenn at the time that it was very disheartening to have to end up in a court situation somewhat like we are now, because we couldn't even sit down and talk to people. And I feel the same way now, because we've been coming here for 7 weeks and could not have back and forth conversation. And I think that's hateful. I think it's disrespectful. I consider it like you can't even talk to a neighbor if there's a dispute of some sort. I don't like it. I think it's pitiful. I think the only way that we could have gotten this point is to go ahead and go with a lawsuit, which none of us wanted. And I think it's condescending by the board to not answer questions that we have. And I have to agree with the other gentlemen that have spoken that I don't think there's anything that can be done, except what Charlie said, to put what they've done, what has been done already, in default. I don't see that there's any other process that could be done now except that. And I certainly hope that's what comes to fruition. Respectfully.
Thank you. Anybody else like to make a comment? Motion to adjourn. Degler, second by Weber. Roll call, please.
Shook,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Zupan,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Degler,
Yes.
Marvin,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Better.
Yes.